See if I can tell you a story, and you all know that I'm very good at telling stories. There's magic in the air this morning. Can you feel it? This morning we call it Black Girl Magic, Womanism. This place here, this space. Being you challenges us. I'm challenged to look inward today, to do some inner work. You, Taryn, and my sisters have asked me a question, and I thank you. Many of you will remember the sweet little rag dolls, Raggedy Ann and Andy. In the UK, we call this doll Andy Pandy. There was also another such doll called a gollywog, made of black cloth, with big red lips, lots of white teeth, big white eyes, huge bulging pupils, and the signature woolly hair made of black wiry yarn. This doll was the gollywog. Most English children grew up with a gollywog in their playrooms and their nurseries. I was horrified by this doll. It was a mockery to the only brown people I knew in 1966. My mother, my father, my sister Bev, and Mr. Oliwatiye, a Nigerian student who was a boarder in our home. At school, the children picketed my person, calling me a gollywog. Wogs go home. They would surround me. Wogs go home. I was allowed for the first time at age 11 to travel unsupervised on the bus with my sister Bev. I remember the day even now. Here we were on our very best behavior, told not to bring any attention to yourself by behaving in any way untoward. Keep in mind, we were the only colored people in that part of the southeast region of England. Back then, we were colored. 2 little brown girls on a Saturday afternoon ride. And there were 2 women, 2 English women, who sat across from us. And somehow, they were of the idea that we could not speak or understand English. And they proceeded to describe our hair, the spongy feel of our hair, and our sorry, sad feet, unaccustomed to shoes, as we were made to walk miles barefooted where we came from. And I can hear her in her southern Cockney voice now. Have you ever touched their hair? It's spongy. And the other woman says, no. Yes, it's ever so spongy. And those feet, the poor little mites, having to shove their feet in those Buster Brown shoes. You know where they're from. They have to run for miles barefooted. Poor little mites. They must be so uncomfortable. I could feel myself burning with anger and shame. I've always been the radical one, the one tending to behave badly. My sister Bev, on the other hand, was more tactful, and she patted me reassuringly on the leg. It was at that moment that womanism was born in me. What came out of my sister's mouth was magic in its purest form. She looked at me and said something in a made-up, contrived language. And she bugged her eyes and turned her lips in full gollywog regalia. And she looked at me and said, Allez, Mongolais. So, I had one of those what the kind of looks. I promised Taryn I wouldn't curse. But, so I looked at her and she goes, Allez, Mongolais. And she patted me again reassuringly, like, play along. So I responded in kind, Allez, Mongolais. And then she says, Nom nadi tuale, Mongolais. And I repeated, Nom nadi tuale, Mongolais. And she says, Tu dashale, Mongolais. And I said, I got creative now. I said, Hasinsula, Mongolais. And she goes, Nom nadi tuale, Mongolais. Well, we silenced the whole damn bus. Everybody turned around and they were looking at these two little brown girls. And I got it going on, let me tell you. My sister, I've always kind of had a cornbread voice, but my sister has, to this day, a beautiful soprano voice. And she opened her mouth, and I'm going to try and mimic the sound as best I can. She says, Allez, and her breath and the sound was as long as the bus. And she carried that note, and when she was out of breath, she started again. Allez. Well, then I got on my legs and started beating. Yes, I'm an African now. So I started beating. Allez, allez, Mongolais. Allez, allez, Mongolais. Allez, allez, Mongolais. And she's harmonizing with me. Nom nadi tuale, Mongolais. Tu dashale, Mongolais. Hasinsula. And we're just going on like two damn fools, enjoying ourselves on the bus. So then it came to our stop, and we had to stand up and ring the bell. But I walked off the bus that day, embracing my blackness, proud to wear the badge of WOG, strutting my womanism. Thank you.